Duck da duck duck cooks, yeah!
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Duck Cooks.
Today we're going to tell you about how there's a lot of science that is involved when you are cooking and baking.
We are going to be telling you how to make these delicious Jolly Rancher suckers. To make these Jolly Rancher suckers, you will need a bag of Jolly Ranchers in all flavors, lollipop sticks, a pan, and parchment paper.
Okay, so here are your instructions. First you need to preheat your oven to 275 degrees. Then you need to put 3 Jolly Rancher flavors of your choice together so they look like what we have here. After that, put the Jolly Ranchers in the oven for 5 minutes. When you take them out of the oven, you need to quickly twist the lollipop sticks into the melted Jolly Rancher. If you let them sit too long, they will harden and you will not be able to get the sticks into the Jolly Ranchers. Then you need to let them sit for 30 minutes.
These delicious Jolly Rancher suckers are a mixture and are physically combined because they are still Jolly Ranchers. The flavors didn't mix together. If you had a green apple, grape, and cherry sucker, they keep the same flavors or properties. In most cases, when you bake things such as cake, brownies, and bread, they make a compound. In this case, they don't do that because you didn't combine all the flavors into one.
A mixture is also a physical combination. When these Jolly Rancher suckers were made, that was an example of a physical combination. Mixtures and physical combinations are the same thing. This means that they can both be separated and they keep their original properties.
There are two kinds of mixtures, heterogeneous and homogeneous. A heterogeneous mixture is where there are a ton of different items mixed together, and they are physically combined. A homogeneous mixture is where the substances are mixed together physically, and they look the same. A homogeneous mixture also takes on the shape of their containers.
An example of a homogeneous mixture is Kool-Aid. When you pour Kool-Aid into a cup, it automatically takes on the shape of the cup. It also looks all the same throughout, so it is a homogeneous mixture. You also know because it is physically combined.
An example of heterogeneous mixture is crunchy peanut butter. Crunchy peanut butter is a heterogeneous mixture because it doesn't look at all the same. It uses peanuts and peanut butter, and they don't look all the same. You also know that it is a heterogeneous mixture because it is physically combined.
You also need to remember a physical change, a mixture, and a physical combination are the same thing. These things are always physically combined and the object keeps their same properties.
Now we're going to tell you how to make these delicious brownies.
To make these yummy brownies, you will need 1 cup of butter, 1 12-ounce bag of chocolate chips, 1/4 of a cup of cocoa, 6 eggs, 2 half cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 cups of flour. Now here's what you need to do. First you need to preheat your oven to 325 degrees. Then you need to melt together the butter and chocolate chips in a microwavable dish. Then you need to stir in the cocoa. Remember to mix it well. Then in a separate bowl you need to stir together your 2½ cups of sugar and your eggs. After that you need to add the salt, vanilla, and chocolate mixture. Again, mix well. Then you need to remove the bowl from the mixture and stir in flour by hand to prevent air pockets. Once all of the flour is stirred in, it should look like this. Then you need to pour it into a greased pan. After that, you put it into the oven and let it bake for 45 minutes. Remember to not overbake them. Enjoy!
These brownies are a compound and are chemically combined because they didn't keep their original properties. Things that are chemically combined are the same thing as compounds. They mean the same thing. Compounds mean that you have two elements mixed together and they cannot be separated after they have been chemically combined. These brownies obviously didn't stay the same because once they were baked, brownies were formed. So, brownies are an example of a compound because they are chemically combined and they didn't keep their original properties.
A chemical combination, a compound, and a chemical change are all the same thing. An example of a chemical change is when you make bread. The bread obviously doesn't keep its original properties. It goes from dough to bread.
An element is something that you can't break down any more than what it is. A few examples of elements are hydrogen and oxygen. When hydrogen and oxygen are chemically combined, they make water. Water is a compound because it is composed of two elements.
But you always need to remember that there is a difference between mixtures and compounds. A compound is always chemically combined. A mixture is always physically combined. That is the key when you are learning this.
So did you know there was this much science involved when you cook and bake? It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Thank you for watching The Cook.